Hey y'all, these are the wrong sunglasses. Everyone loves supercars, right? Wrong. To many people, they don't see the point. The price is outrageous, and a lot of them might just be too flashy. Maybe it's the upkeep or the insurance. Whatever it may be, they're not everyone's cup of tea. And until about 10 years ago, they weren't mine either. But hey y'all, I'm Tom, the Racing Joker, and welcome to another discussion episode of Car Topics Explained. So, when I was growing up, I always had this sort of sense of pride that all of my dream cars were of the attainable sort. None of them had a $100,000 price tag, and they were just the sort of thing that a normal person could hope to have if they were smart with their money. Think cars that were affordable but offered great performance and a great experience. Something like my E46 M3, Ford Mustangs, Mazda RX-7s, 99 Honda Civic SIs, A80 Supras, and R34 GTRs. Well, a few things have changed. For one, the market has changed so much that cars that offered fantastic performance potential and didn't break the bank are now valued so high that the performance per dollar argument no longer applies to them. An R34 GTR for $45,000 used to be a great deal. A Supra for 20 grand was a steal. Now a 99 Honda Civic SI with the B16 can cost as much as $40,000. Hell, I'm lucky I got my E46 M3 for under 20 grand. But personally, something else changed as well. Let's go back 10 years ago, 2014. Oh God, that was 10 years ago. At this particular moment I'm going to tell you about, I would have been in high school, and I was actually on a Singapore Airlines flight, bored out of my mind. To cope with this, I started perusing through all the different shows the airline had to offer, and I came across Top Gear. I freaking love Top Gear, so obviously I went with that. It was Series 21, Episode 2, the episode in which Jeremy Clarkson reviewed my now absolute, undisputed, forever reigning dream car, the McLaren P1. This review is still my favorite piece of automotive media covering the P1. In it, you get to see the P1's epic styling, the intelligent aerodynamics, the super cool materials used on it, and most of all, you get to learn about how it makes power. It's the one hybrid I'll ever actually covet. 900 horsepower from a 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8 working in conjunction with electric motors. But it's not as simple as it sounds, because the P1 does something called torque filling. The electric motors compensate for whenever the V8 isn't at full power, whether it's from changing gears or when the turbos aren't at full boost. No turbo lag, 900 horsepower, and no turbo lag. This was the car that made me realize that hypercars and supercars truly can be absolutely awesome. Then I heard the price tag and I went, oh geez. But now, I'm a little older, and I've simply decided, oh well, not every car I want is attainable anymore, like my M3. But I guess I've got a pretty good reason to aspire to be a millionaire now, because I gotta have it. I got my M3 when I was 22. I'm sure I can figure something out. My income from 2020 is about a third of what it is now, so I would say I've got time to grow, so long as the government doesn't make having sports cars illegal or fun. I mean, that's probably what they're actually going for. So yeah, the McLaren P1. It was, for me, the gateway drug that brought me into the supercar space. And my love affair with exorbitant automobiles does not end there. Fast forward to 2018, I was living by myself in an apartment in Iowa City. I don't know why I'm giving you these details. It's extra flavor for the story. And one day I came across a YouTube video by someone called Dr. M3. It was the unveil video of his special order Lamborghini Huracan Performante, a Viola Parsife work of art. I immediately fell in love with the Huracan from that point on, which is funny because the base Huracan wasn't enough to steal my heart. But once I saw the Performante, it was game over. The center exit exhaust, the color, the factory spoiler, the race car style tachometer, it's mwah. These days though, I'm more aspiring to grab myself a rear-wheel drive Huracan Evo. I love the stock front end of those cars, more so than the Evo all-wheel drive version, and it's better than a Performante because you don't end up ruining the ala system on it if you want to modify it. But not long after I realized I loved the Huracan, it became very clear to me that I'm more of a Lambo guy than a Ferrari or a Porsche guy. Because in 2019, I discovered Daily Driven Exotics. And the first videos I watched on their channel was from their Japan series with Steve's POV. In it, Steve's POV picked them up in a red Aventador SV with chrome red wheels and lighting up the night with strobe lights and rainbow LEDs. And what's funny is, just like with the Huracan, the base Aventador just didn't do it for me. But the SV? Well, the Aventador SV is one of my must-have cars on the dream list. The styling is perfect, the idea of a modern car with a single clutch gearbox, the engine sounds like a McLaren F1 if you put a Capristo exhaust system on it. Yeah, the whole thing is just perfect. So what impact has this had on my taste in cars? Do I no longer care about the legendary tuner cars of the 90s, the muscle cars of the 60s, or the entry-level exotics of the 2000s and 2010s? Well, of course not. My taste just covers everything now. The BMW M3 GTRs, the R34 Skyline, the Shelby GT500, the Huracan, the Aventador, the P1, the Koenigsegg Agera RS, it goes on and on. The range of value for my favorite cars on the planet actually stretch all the way down to $5,000 all the way up to $5 million. I will admit though, my taste in supercars has evolved a little bit. In a perfect world, I'd want a P1 with a Lanzante HDK package. I'd want to copy Brap 528 and put the Zacco Fusion Runner kit on a rear-wheel drive Huracan Evo and get the same black market race chassis mount wing he has on his car. Though I'd probably go for some kind of purple. Purple people. I'd also probably supercharge it and forego the use of a bypass valve and go for a blow-off valve kind of setup so that I get more whooshing noises. For the Aventadors, I just want a hardtop coupe version of the one-of-one Blue Lyle SV Roadster. Probably slap on some gold or bronze HRE 501s. I could go on and on about my dream spec supercars, project cars, track cars, and whatever, but I think it would just be cooler to show you as I build them. So let's start with my BMW M3 GTR project. Check out this video to learn all about it.